Stefan Molyneux. Stefan Molyneux. That name has just become part of my life. You've gone from some dude on the internet to, you still are a dude on the internet, to this, I'm talking about you with my friends. And so before any criticism I'm going to give in this little response, big disclaimer, I'm a huge fan. I love you, dude. You've been a big influence on me. So don't hate me. Okay, I'm just going to go over some little things that I am a little bit concerned with. And it's very frustrating listening to you talk, because on one level you've been extremely brilliant and stuff that I've never thought about, specifically because it's only been over the last couple of years that I've got into this free market, Milton Friedman philosophy, and you're taking it a little bit further, saying just the very nature of taking taxation itself, the very nature of someone having any kind of transaction through force and accepting it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that stuff because I'm here to talk about a specific thing, which is I just wanted to kiss your ass a little bit before I appear to be criticizing you because, and this is the other thing. Let's get to your talk today, okay? You're talking about the fascists that surround you. Now, obviously it's not your intention that I'm going to criticize here. It's what you're suggesting in the method of communication here. And I really, really hesitate putting this publicly. I made this other one I uploaded, which was a bit too critical, and I don't even know if I'm going to upload this, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's get to the point of it after he wasted nearly a minute. Minute and a half. Okay, now, problem number one, you're using this word sociopath, you're using psychopath and all these things when you yourself mentioned the study done by, I forgot the guy's name, the study with the electric shock test, and where 60% of, I think it was 100% of females did it, blindly followed authority and caused pain, possible death to their fellow human beings simply because of the authority figure told them to, and a huge chunk is of men as well. And you know, you're trying to pathologize, is that the word to this? To turn to someone and call these people sociopaths. When, if it's that huge a chunk of people, then surely this is human nature. So you can substitute for the word sociopath, you can substitute the word people. And history is full, as you know, of people that followed leaders who went along with the authority figure. It's part of our nature. It's part of the DNA. We are designed, we're pack animals. We are designed to stick with the group, and it's one thing to hate it and to resent saying that. And obviously, if the group's completely wrong, and because I think what's happened here is there's variations in the group, and thanks to the internet, the people on the edge of the percentiles, the people right at the edge who are motivated, who are curious, who are, for the lack of a better word, radical thinkers, who are willing to throw away standard ways of thinking, suddenly have this place, the internet, where anonymously, see, I'm not even giving you my name. My accent's a bit of a giveaway, but you see, anonymously now, we can discuss these things. We can say the unspeakable. We can think the unthinkable. And as a result, logic, those that are into logic, and empirical analysis, for those that are into that, can for the first time get together and share ideas, and rather than being the freaks that we are, statistically speaking, we are now united, and we can find a place to say, yes, we knew it. This was never possible in history. In the village, we'd be the weirdos, and suddenly the geeks, these people who think, can get together and rejoice in the anonymity of the internet. It's a beautiful thing. Now, but we're looking now into the majority, society itself, and the society itself is, unfortunately, and we hate this because we want to feel connected to the majority, but we're not. And we don't even need to go to something as complicated as political theory or capitalism or anything like that. Anybody who's had any discussion with a Christian knows this. If you try discussing and putting logic in the head of your average citizen, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And I'm not sure if the point of your talk is to convince people to try this. Would you do this to me? Is that what you call that argument? Would you do this to me? Would you lock me up? What I want to say is to tell people, especially the young people that don't know about this, don't do it. shut the F up. Because if you start throwing these ideas that to intelligent, dare I say it sounds wanky, but intellectual ideas to the general public, they're going to crucify you. They're not going to say thank you. And I mean, I remember myself with a feminist in the old days. I'm holding a copy of, where is it? The Myth of Male Power, Warren Farrell, which when I first got it, I thought, this is brilliant. A whole bunch of ideas which I already suspected and had bits and pieces of research I had done, including a whole bunch of stuff I've never even thought about before, all encapsulated into one book with I think one third of it is references. So anybody who's interested can read this book. The facts are all there. And I thought, great. So I started discussing the topic with feminists, and I thought that, sounds so naive now. I thought they were going to go, wow, gee, this is really interesting. Thanks for all these facts. I never really thought about this before. Wow, I really need to sit down and rethink some of my assumptions. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. They questioned it, they threw it out, and I came up with a bunch of techniques to deal with these people, to argue with them. So you can, have a bit of fun, and, at best, if you start approaching people, the general public, especially your friends, which I actually had another listen today to your talk, Stefan, and I think you're not actually advocating that people discuss this with their friends. Out of curiosity, you can gently approach it. The furthest I'd go is just say, hey, guys, I've been watching this interesting clip by some guy on the internet. I don't even know what his name is, but hey, check it out, and send a link to one of your videos. But in terms of just suggesting that people try to convert the people around them or put them onto this, tread with caution. People are egotistical. It's all based on hierarchy, and no one wants to be wrong. And maybe if someone's really young, you've got a chance. Maybe if someone hadn't really thought about it, you've got a chance. But then again, if you're saying stuff that's completely out of the norm, people will they're not going to even grasp the message. They're going to reject you. And that won't do you any good. You'll be the freak. And the other thing I want to say is I don't think it's helpful in your talks to keep referring to use terms such as sociopath and psychopath, and I think one of your later talks you even started talking about some dirty, crazy uncle who was a pedophile or something, and tried to compare them with that. This, on an emotional level, maybe it seems that freaky and perverted for someone to advocate state violence, but I don't think it does any good to use those kinds of metaphors with the general public. I'm sorry, I don't have the solution, obviously, but I do know that certain things work better than other things. So, I don't know, what's my conclusion here? Let me just pause whilst I think of my conclusion. Okay, my conclusion is simply to advise people to be very, very careful when discussing these things with the general public, with your family members, and realize that most people are not thinkers. They don't want to be educated by you, especially if you're not an authority figure. If you're a Richard Dawkins or if you're a Christopher Hitchens, as a matter of fact, you can see a lot of the debates, which I've watched a few on YouTube, very interesting, very entertaining, but no one gets convinced by them. Maybe there's a whole bunch of people in the middle who haven't thought about it. There's your chance there. They'll listen to an authority figure, but they're definitely someone who's convinced of one thing. Look, maybe this is my conclusion. If someone hasn't got an opinion, you can have broach the topic gently. But at any time someone's arguing with you, they're disagreeing with you, back off. You will not win. You will not change their minds. It becomes a battle of the egos. As a matter of fact, if you read the old Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, he says, you cannot win an argument. You can't win an argument. Even if you throw the facts or the logic or Stefan's core moral principles at them, they'll just feel embarrassed, resentful. So be very, very careful. And preferably don't do it. Stick to internet talk, nice and safe and anonymous. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.